my YouTube channel, Grace Chege. Ukitaka in my YouTube channel, naitwa Grace the Unmerited Favor. Karibu sana. Once again, we discuss matters disability, ndio tuweze kujua zaidi kuhusu walemavu. Tutatumia lugha ya Kimombo kidogo na Kiswahili ili tuweze kuelimisha hata yule mama ako pale mashinani, mzee ako pale mashinani. Ni kwa sababu tunataka watu wajifahamishe vizuri na mambo ambayo tunayafanya. Kama vile mnavyoona, niko na marafiki wangu wako hapa na ningetaka wawajulishe wao ni kina nani, watupe majina yao na ili tujifahamishane na wao. Tutaanza upande wangu wa kulia.
Thank you, Grace. My name is Grace Wanja Manyara. Most people call me Wanja, others call me Mama John. I'm a mother of 2 adults and a wife. I think the reason I'm here is because I have a son who is on the spectrum disorder. He's 32 years now.
Thank you, Mama John. Most welcome.
Hi everyone, once again, I'm sure you've seen this face before. I am Teacher Pauline, and thank you so much, Madam Grace, for this. We are ready to help you be able to live with these kids. They are lovable, acceptable. It's my prayer that you may grab something from this. Karibuni sana.
Thank you, Mama John. Grace, my namesake, Garana. Na Pauline, asanteni, karibuni sana. Kama vile tumekuwa katika our previous series, like ile imepita, tumekuwa na a panel of parents. Tumekuwa na panel pia ya walimu, tumepiga ngumzo in this friendship bench. It's called our friendship bench. Tunazungumza, tunaangalia, tunatazama. Tunawauliza maswali, wanatujibu, wazazi wanashare their testimonies. And after I'm done with this, tutakuwa na wakati wa kuwa na madaktari, kwa sababu kuna mambo tumeona inahitaji ule ama ufahamu kutoka kwa madaktari. Na kwanza kabisa nitamuuliza Mwalimu Pauline atuelezee alipata aje the passion ya kukaa na watoto walemavu. Kwako Pauline?
Yes, I'm not a professional in the Special Kids Forum. I'm just a teacher, but in my area of teaching, huwa tunaletewa hawa watoto. Na as a teacher, we've handled so many cases of these kids. I get to learn that these are children who deserve to be loved and well treated just like anybody else in this world. They are so fun to be with.
Yeah.
They are so enjoyable to be with. Correct. They'll make you smile even if you don't want to smile.
Yeah.
They'll make you run all over that class just after them. Yeah. Because sometimes some of them is so hard to make them settle down. I know you want them at least sit down within the other second. He's already up. Or she's already up. And others make it fun. Because right now I was handling one who would make it so fun. I want him to sit down. But instead of sitting down, now he wants us to start running all over. And sometimes we'd even run outside the classroom. Sasa ni wacha wengine tuanze kukimbisha.
Mwalimu anafanya gym kidogo.
Kidogo, upende usipende.
With these children.
With these children, yeah.
Especially those ones that are autistic. In that spectrum.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mwalimu Pauline. Now, kama vile tunajua, in our previous series, tulikuwa na wazazi. I have a very dear friend, mama ambaye ni rafiki yangu sana, na tulijuana some years ago. Kwa sababu hata mimi niko na passion ya watoto walio na ulemavu kama mwalimu. Na ningetaka Mama John atuelezee ama Grace atuelezee about her child. Tuelezee kutoka utotoni mwake kidogo, utufikishe pahali amefika na utuambie umri wake. Unaweza shikilia hapo.
Thank you, Grace. Yeah, it's been a journey. As I mentioned earlier, John is 32 years now. He's the second born.
So he's already an adult.
He's already an adult.
That's 2 years.
That's 2 years. That's why you said I have 2 adults, 2 kids who are adults.
Yes.
And
who is older?
The sister is older.
Okay.
So John is the second born.
Okay.
And autism is a spectrum.
Yes.
You meet one autistic child, you've just met one. There could be, all of them could be autistic, but their behavior is very, very different.
That's why we call it a spectrum.
Yes.
We call autism, we call it a spectrum because of the behavior changes. They are very, very different.
Yes.
And like when we say visually impaired or physically impaired,
yes.
For autism, we call it a spectrum because behavior changes or behaviors are very different from your child to my child.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So, when I got John, he immediately after birth, actually after 3 weeks, he got sick.
Yeah.
And he started getting convulsions. And we were in and out of hospital for the first 3 weeks of his life. At 3 weeks, at 3 months, we were able to cut down the convulsions. So he didn't have an attack again.
Are they convulsed for how long? 3 weeks?
He got the convulsions at 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
But he got them on and off up to 3 months.
Okay.
So the doctors or the medicines were able to control the convulsions after 3 months, but we stayed on drugs for 5 years.
Okay.
After 5 years, the medicine was phased out, of course, slowly.
Okay.
Yeah, and since then we haven't had an attack.
Yeah.
But he's autistic.
Ulijuaje ako autistic?
Let me tell you, Grace. I went to so many hospitals, I went to see so many doctors, I went to schools even, but none of them at that time mentioned to me the word autism.
Autism, yes.
Yes. Some would tell me like, you are comparing the boy with the sister, give him time, that kind of a thing. But I could see
behavior.
Yes, something is not
adding up.
Something is not adding up. Those days I could hear there's a meeting of cerebral palsy parents or Down syndrome. I would go, I go back home
disappointed.
But not disappointed, but with no answers. So I'm not getting answers.
You are looking for the answers of why.
Yes, and I want to meet a parent with a child like
similar.
Which I stayed for a long, long time without. Actually, I thought like this is just a unique problem for
your
John,
for your son
in this country. Because I haven't met another child like him.
Okay.
So we went to school. We went to school, of course.
Yeah.
At 3.5 years. Just to let him go and pray around. He wasn't fitting in so well. So at times I could be called to go and pick my child, and that used to break me.
Why?
That used to break
reason?
me. He's not like the other kids.
Now, was he harassing the other children?
No, I remember one.
Because one thing I know about John, I've met John. John is a very lovely boy.
He has a golden heart. He loves people.
Yeah,
he
I
loves
know.
hugging people. And there is actually the first school I was asked to go and pick my son, he was still on those drugs, so he was actually a little bit subdued. And they said like, we are not helping him here. I think we just take him somewhere else. And they started giving me other places to go and check if they can accommodate him. So I just knew they don't want him there. And I felt really rejected. And it is very painful.
Hold at that. Walimu, you and me and others, we can break roho za wazazi. Wakati unamwambia mtoto atakikani kwa shule. It is so painful kwa mzazi. So unastahili kumwelezea, ninaona, and actually teachers, tukienda college tunasomeshwa about disabilities, whether we are going for disabilities, for schools kuna disability or not, huwa tunasomeshwa kuhusu watoto wako na ulemavu. Ama unaweza understand even a child who is intellectually challenged. Na mtoto ambaye ako in that spectrum, unaweza jua ako intellectually challenged. So mwalimu anastahili kuangalia behavior ya mtoto. And if you realize kuna kakitu kako 88.
Not acting out.
Yes, unastahili kufanya nini? Unastahili kuambia mzazi akuje mjadiliane. Na teachers are the one who can actually conquer the parent. Na mzazi awe na ile mafikira ya kumpeleka for even assessment.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes, but at this particular time, you are being waited and then like a message is left like, if Mama John comes to pick John, tell her I want to see her. So you just enter the office and you are told like, the child should not come tomorrow. It breaks a parent's heart.
Sure.
It breaks a parent's heart. Yeah.
But
we have survived
by that time alikuwa wa miaka mingapi?
4
years.
4 years.
So unaimagine mzazi ako na mtoto wa miaka 4. Unaambiwa asikuje shule kesho.
Remember, I also don't know his condition at that point in time.
At that point in time.
I can see he's a little bit, okay, physically he's very cute. He's okay.
He's a handsome boy. Very handsome.
Very, very cute.
Yeah.
But he's not meeting his milestones. I also don't know what is going on with him. No doctor is telling me what is wrong with him.
But
the teachers are not telling me.
Wacha nikuulize swali.
Yes.
Na tulidiscuss na ile timu ya wazazi wengine. Ukiwa mjamzito, ukiwa na ule ujauzito, did you have any trauma?
No.
Okay, wakati wa kujifungua, did you have a prolonged labor?
No, it was a CS.
It was a CS.
Yes. So I didn't even go into labor. It was a selective
CS.
Yes, because there was a previous scar. So the doctor thought it is risky for me to go into labor.
Okay.
So I didn't go into labor. So there was nothing like prolonged labor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So after, I think when John was 6 years, I used to read as my magazine. Okay. I used to subscribe and I used to get it through the post office. So I saw a story about autism when he was 6 years. The first time to see that name, I wasn't even able to pronounce it. When I read the story, I thought like, maybe, okay, this is a South African magazine, but I think they have been to my house because they were describing John, exactly his behavior, exactly what he does. And I was like, okay, yeah, I've known probably he's autistic, but they are in South Africa. There's no other parent in Kenya like us. What do I do? So I wrote actually an email to them, and I explained to them about my son, and they were very kind enough. They sent me through the post office some pamphlets to read, and they told me like the best thing for you is to get other parents like you. I don't know those parents. I don't know them. I've never met any. But eventually,
and I'm sure maybe those days a lot of phone communication.
No information. There was no information. These days there's so much. There's so much. There's a lot of information.
So today, because of the phones and what have you,
yes, the internet
at least
opened.
The internet has opened. Even you can search.
Yes. There wasn't anything like that. So they did send me the pamphlets, and I went through them.
So all the way from South Africa via post office.
Yes, via post office takes years. That is the time was 6 years.
Okay.
But when he was 8, I went to a school, and that is the very first time I met another parent. Actually, another 2 parents with kids like him. And now we started talking about autism.
Yeah.
So it has been a very, very long journey.
Okay.
We've been in and out of school. Right now we are home.
Okay.
We were working with him somewhere up to 2020 when COVID struck, so that we had to close the place.
Okay.
So yeah, we are always together.
Okay.
And we are very good friends, you know that.
I know.
Yeah,
I know, John.
He's my buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. John has grown.
Yes.
And as we know, at a certain age, the systems za mtoto anaanza kubarehe ama kugrow to an adult. How did John transit from childhood to adulthood?
I really can't explain that, but
like the emotional changes,
yes,
the physical changes as a man. They definitely come to this student because in our previous series tulisema hao watoto wako na ulemavu pia hukuwa ni watu normal, wana grow kama ni mwanaume ni mwanaume.
Yes, they have feelings. But I think he knows how to regulate himself, because I noticed there are times he wants his me time, and he just wants maybe to go to his room or somewhere, keep quiet and come back. So it hasn't been a very big problem for us. I know you mean the sexuality part of it.
Yes, sure.
But he has been very discreet about it. Yes.
Hataki mjua anaka feeling anasikia.
Yes.
And probably after this, probably when we resume back, there is I look for you. There is a book I want you to read. I want you to maybe you can even help other parents. Tunasaidia watoto wako na autism ama watoto wale wako na ulemavu, especially the autistic children na cerebral palsy, because si mtoto kama blind, unajua a blind child without any other problem or a child with albinism, si huyo ni mtu ambaye anajielewa, anajifahamu na akona analan. Lakini hao wako na MIs, the autistic children, know that about their brain and their minds are affected. Kuna vile tunawafundisha about sexuality, because we are supposed to teach them about sexuality, and actually it becomes very exciting for them, kwa sababu we don't anadisuppress na labda hajielewi ni nini inaendelea. So kuna vile tunawafundisha tu systematically. We have a teacher's guide and a handbook ya mtoto specifically ajue about their sexuality, ajielewe, ajifahamu, kwa sababu wengine unani sasa amebarehe hajui nini. In our last series tulikuwa na wazazi wako na girls, so we were also looking at it. Vile tunaweza saidia msichana hajijui, hajifahamu. Anachukua kama wakati ako na hedhi, anachukua ile nini pad anaiweka tu pahali, anaweza hata pakalisha kila pahali kwa sababu haelewi. But when we go through these things systematically, train them, wanaweza kujifahamu. Thank you sana Mama John. Let me ask you another question. Huyu mtoto wetu John alifika pahali akaacha the normal formal education.
Yes.
Have you taken him maybe to a vocational training? Are there other things you find him doing best? Because in this program we are saying disability is not inability.
Yes.
We are not calling ourselves disabled. We are saying we are able different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. One thing, he loves computers. He does love his computers.
Wonderful.
Yes. And recently, in May, I belong to an organization called Differently Talented Society of Kenya, DTSK, and there was a program we were sponsored with other students, young adults, to go at NITA for various courses. And John and I went there. As a caregiver, I was also there. And we were trained on embroidery and tie and dye. So that is something we are doing. We are actually making very, very nice things.
Wow.
So yeah.
You should next time you should come with one of the pieces he has done.
Yes.
So parents out there, those children can do the handcrafts work.
Yes.
Wanapenda vitu za mikono. And by the, I was telling the other parents how watoto wako na autism, MI and all that, wanapenda vitu ambazo they like non-living. So unaweza kuta kama ni sisi walimu, si unaona huyu madam vile ameshikwa vizuri, atakuja tu ashike nywele acheze nayo.
I have one who does that.
Yeah.
That's my hair.
Ashike tu kwa nywele yako, because this is non-living.
Yeah.
So atashinda tu amecheza na akishika ni hii hata atakuja maume akile. Whatever. And that's why you are finding them. Wanapenda gadgets, wanapenda simu, wanapenda computer. Kwa sababu those are non-living. Na mostly utakuta hata wakienda shule, wale wanaenda shule hawapendi kucheza na watoto wale wengine. Na akicheza nao anawaumiza. So in most cases wana prefer kucheza peke yao ama kucheza na kakitu. Probably you have seen anashika tu kauzi ama kama kona belt atashika ile belt acheze nayo. So thank you so much. Let me ask you now this one. How do you manage? You know, we know that children who are in the spectrum wanapenda mchezo sana, wanaweza ruka. Kuna wakati anakaa kama labda all of a sudden alikuwa ametulia ukute, all of a sudden you know, even those hyper. Yes.
Of course, it depends on the child. There are those who are hyper. Then they'll just sit down and do nothing.
Hyper there.
Yes, and
wale autism yao iko chini.
John can be hyper, but he's hyper when people come into the house or when we go outside. Unfamiliar environment.
Yes.
Unfamiliar environment. So it's either when we go out somewhere or people come to the house. But when we are just us, we are good. We are good. Yes, we are good, and you won't even realize like he's around. He just come. Atatulia. Just like the other kids do. When he's hungry, he asks for food. When he wants water, he just say water. I will get himself a glass of water. But so I am actually not able to because I have two Johns. John who is very, very good and cooperative when it's just us, and John who
is hyper.
Who gets hyper, but he's not destructive.
Yeah.
But you get a bit loud when visitors come in and when we go somewhere. So the people outside there don't know the John I know. Me, I know the two Johns. But outside there, they know he can be loud. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because we are here to educate each other. Wakati mko na John, does he have sensory problems?
He doesn't like noise.
So unaweza kutata naweka.
Yes. Not really, but he said, like, I used to go to church with him. He doesn't go to church anymore because he started
because of the keyboards,
the loudspeakers. And once he hears that noise, he just like home. We go home. So I don't force him in an environment which is not conducive to him.
Yeah.
Because even me, I don't like that noise, you know. And I'll be able to remove myself when I notice there's a lot of noise on something. Yeah. So when he tells me home, I know he's not comfortable. Yeah. So
we have that sensory problem.
Yes.
Okay, you have actually answered the question I wanted to ask about church.
Yes.
At what point did you stop going with him to church?
When he started experiencing the
loud
music and showing that like he used to enjoy it, and then all of a sudden says, John says sitaki. If he doesn't notice anything, he says sitaki. And when he sings sitaki, he's being pushed to he has been pushed to the wall. So to avoid tantrums, we don't go there. We don't go
But
there.
when you're at home, does he like listening to some music?
Yes, he can.
Cool music.
His own music.
Gospel music.
His own
Ama anapenda
music.
hizo za nini? Mchaka.
Not really, but his own music. Yeah. And you know they like familiar things. They do like familiar things.
Yes, sure, true.
Like since he's not going to church, the pastor comes home to give him Holy Communion.
Okay.
And I'm narrating this story. It was very, very funny. Because so the pastor he's familiar with was not able to come one of those days.
Yeah.
And another one came. He asked another pastor to come. So John saw him. John is excited to see the pastor. He actually said, Pastor is coming. So when this pastor came, John noticed like this is not the pastor
I know.
So so he just retreated and went to his room. So I had to beg him like, no, John, I have two pastors. Eventually he came, but he wasn't comfortable.
You would see.
Yes, because they like familiarity, and they don't like surprises.
Yeah, sure.
They don't like
Hawapendi
surprises.
mtoto wako autistic. Hapendi surprises. Hatakangi kwenda kwa watu ambao hajui. And I was telling these parents, they cling on people they know. And they become friends. Sasa kama sasa mimi nimejua to interact with him.
Yes.
And I know his memory will be rekindled even if I would come back to your place. Najua atanikumbuka ataona huyu nimwahi muona pahali. So they actually have that kind of situation.
Yes. They like routine.
So waliko mimi ni mlikula ama alikata?
Eventually alikula. But since now this pastor has started coming often, so now he has been accepted. Yeah. Because now he's familiar with him. What they don't like is surprises. They are routine people. They are routine. Yeah. So if you follow this route to go to the kiosk, just be following that route. Otherwise,
You're right, Mama John.
Yes.
Sure, true.
Yes. But what you can do is prepare them in advance. Like I would have told him, pastor is coming, but a different pastor. Also, I didn't know, by the way.
Oh, you didn't know.
Yeah, but a different pastor is coming. So you prepare them in advance. If you are going to have visitors at home, tell them, even if like, you have visitors on Sunday, on Sunday, and it is Monday, continuously we will be having visitors on Sunday. Don't say they won't understand. They will. They do understand. They internalize.
Yes.
About the routine, as a teacher, that's something I've noticed. Because when it's sunny, the children know that you are supposed to take off your jacket or your sweater, put it inside the bag. Now the autism kids, they have now learned it's break time, snack time. We are removing our snacks and our what? Jackets. Now it started raining.
I have to go for them.
My kids, now I'm staying in class today. The weather is cold, it's chilly. No taking out.
Any routine.
Hakuna kutoa sweater. My kids, those boys will go and take off their jackets, their sweaters, and come marching in happy.
And it is raining.
So that is something I've noticed. They really, routine. Yeah, now you have to start, don't remove the sweater. Or I go and help them to put them back on. Yeah, because of the routine. Yeah.
So routine is something that is inevitable.
Let me add something about routine. I was going to work with John. For a few years we've been going to work with him. And John knows it is lunchtime is lunchtime.
Yes.
So it is 1 o'clock. He would be over, and then when it comes 1 o'clock, you come and say lunch.
Wow.
Regardless whether you have
By the way,
client
does
or
John
not.
communicate? Does he have speech?
you can't hold a conversation, but he has words. We communicate. Me and him
Words.
communicate. Yes, we communicate quite well, but you may not hold a conversation. Yeah, but he
It's
expresses
something that he doesn't, which is he's not able to express himself. Like when you go into a new environment, probably you want to go to the loo, probably atakushika mkono
Yeah, he say pupu or susu.
Oh,
he can
okay.
do that.
That's a language.
Yes, yes, he can say that. And so I was telling you when I was going to work with him.
Yeah.
And it's lunchtime. Regardless of whether you are a client or not, it's lunchtime. So he will just come and say, lunch. No, when it comes to evening,
Yes.
it is 5 and you need to go home. John will just come and say, home time.
Oh dear.
And if it is home time, it is home time. It doesn't matter if you have clients or not. It's home time. No, he will pick my bag and hold it. It's home time. He'll pick the client's bag and give it to him or her. Home time. So that is what it's called. You have to really understand that. Yeah. But the best thing is like the environment we were working in was parents with special needs. It was a therapy center. Yeah. So the parents were also understand because they are dealing with the same kind of children. Yeah. Yeah. And another thing I know, he knows how to regulate himself because he doesn't, as I mentioned earlier, he doesn't like noise. So if a child comes to the center and they are crying, he leaves. Yeah. He was getting very agitated before and gets mad at me that why is the child crying? You are not doing anything. Yes. But he started regulating himself as in like if a child comes in crying or starts crying when we are in the therapy center, he walks out. No.
Is it as a result of sympathy?
Yeah, as a result of sympathy, because he's wondering why are you making me cry, and he just says stuck. So I don't like the way this child is crying. Yeah, so that instead now of fighting, he regulates himself.
Anaondoka.
Yeah. But that has taken years. It is not going to happen tomorrow for a new parent. Yes. It is a journey. It's a process.
Yes. Yeah. Mama John. Kuna issue ya community. Yes. Mtoto wako ukimlea alikuwa kwa community, wachana na shule. Community wa mama, marafiki zako, relatives from both your side na mzee side. Walichukulia hili jambo aje? Walichukua kama labda wewe umefanyia mtoto kitu baya ama what happened?
I can't say yes or no, but what I know is you had a group of friends, so many friends, but they disappear one by one. You find, yes, people don't understand you. And you see, like they take long to get to the train. So it's also very...
So you cannot even visit those buddies because those years you couldn't visit.
Yes. So it's like we decided to live our own life. Yeah, because...
so somehow it's lonely.
It is very lonely. It is still very lonely, even now. People are planning for Christmas and everything.
We are visiting Mama John.
Yeah, it is still very lonely.
Oh dear me. Oh dear.
Yes, it is very lonely.
Cameraman, behind the cameraman, there are some youths who are there. I hope you're also learning these things. Kwa sababu Mungu atawajalia na familia kama bado hamjapata. When you have a special need child, you are isolated. Friends wanaondokanga moja because you are also spending a lot of time na yule mtoto. Unachukua muda wako mwingi sana kwa yule mtoto. So ni vizuri na, and I think in my previous series I said kukiwa na issue kama hizo, sometimes enda kwa Mama John, mwambie mama John, wacha nikukalie na John at least sasa leo uende salon.
Exactly.
Mama John, you want to go for shopping? Leo wacha tu nikae na John for the next few hours. Go and do your shopping.
For information, you are not even, mostly you are not even invited. And if you are invited, it is just you, not him. He won't be included.
Kwa hivyo tukiwa na kabusi choma, ukuje lakini John asikuje.
Like those days of birthday parties.
Yeah.
You say like, oh, we are having a birthday party
for our baby.
So you come with Raha. Raha is my daughter. But John won't be mentioned. You see? So now when you are just invited, you and your daughter, you don't even go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, as a family, this is part of you.
Exactly.
Hamwezi nialika alafu mwache mtoto wangu. Hamwezi alika my daughter mwache my son.
Exactly.
That cannot be. I mean, it can't work like that.
It can't work.
So ni vizuri kama ni kualika alika wote.
Wakatae.
Heri wao wenyewe wajichagulie watafanya aje. And of course, you know, unaweza feel you release the daughter, ubaki nyumbani na son. Si ndio inaendanga hivyo. Alafu akimaliza utaenda kuchukua your daughter wherever they are.
But in this case, Grace, John is not even mentioned anywhere.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we are having this and this. You come with Raha. You come with your daughter.
So they will specifically say Raha.
Yes.
They leave John.
He's not mentioned.
He's not a human being, or
he's not mentioned.
Or he's put in quotes.
Yes.
So these are things we go through. Na personally ili nianzishe hili jambo ni kwa sababu ya yale niliyapitia. Na nikasema ni vizuri nilete wengine they also come and speak their stories. I was telling a group we had previously about how as we are three of us with albinism. My dad is one polygamist. Akona the other mama akona watoto wako na skin pigmentation. But as the three of us, we lack skin pigmentation. So when you have
from
a person with
one mother,
kutoka kwa mama yangu, my late mom. So ilikuwa unajua a person with albinism to expose kwa jua anashikwa na zile sunburn and vinaweza continue to bring some mood, just like unaweza chomeka na maji ama uchomeke na uji or whatever. Before tu kienda kwa jua, you are scorched by the sun, unachomeka na ile miale ya jua, unachomeka kama vile unachomeka na maji. So I always tell people, if you look at my hands, the cameraman may not be able, but ninyi mko hapa karibu, if you look at them, they look like they are folding, kiasi tu zina fold. Ni kwa sababu nilichomeka nikiwa mtoto mdogo. Najua si ati maji, mamangu akunichoma na maji. Zilikuwa zinachomeka na jua. And because my parents at my age, nafikiria wazazi walikuwa najua about albinism, hawako wanajua. And so mtoto huyo akienda huko kwa jua achomeke, so mimi nilienda kwa jua na brother zangu tukacheza, then tukatokwa na mahira. Ikatoka, tulikuwa tunateremsha hivi na mwagikia huku, unaona vile kama ni maji natoka
na ni mahira sahihi.
Mahira ndio inatoka that fast, hiyo usaha ndio inatoka. So tukaingia kwa matatu, tunapelekwa hospitali. I come from Nyandarua County, a place that tukanya Hururu tukielekea Nakuru Provincial Hospital. Tunapanda matatu, makanga, watu wale kwa gari wataki kukaa na sisi tusiwaambukiza because wanaona ni kitu tunaweza waambukiza.
They have no idea it's not.
They have no idea. So ule makanga stigma, unyanyapaa uko kila pahali. So mamangu anashika my two brothers, naye huyu makanga akanishika ndio watuzuie kukaribia watu. So makanga ndiye ako bari na sasa hizo tunasikia utu wake up na tunaambia haki mami imetoka ingine akikuja na kitambaa baridi. You know the story of Lazarus in the Bible. That he would cry to Abraham Sasa sivyo ndivyo tuligrow. Tulikuwa tunasikia uchungu, unasikia uchungu, naambia mamako, "Mom, kuja uniwekele kitambaa baridi." Yani it was so painful. But today we take care of ourselves. We are adults. We are all adults. Na tumegrow. Thank God alituprotect kutoka kwa nini? Kutoka kwa skin cancer. And it never caught up with us. So when Mama John is sick kama mzazi, I'm talking about my mom. Nikiangalia Mama John akiongea kama mzazi, akisema yale aliyapitia. Na bado naipitia even today. Ninafahamu. I can associate myself with what you have gone through because my mom went through it. But my step mom and our step sisters and brothers, ungetukuza utagongwa. Tulikuwa familia kubwa. Tulikuwa tunakuzingira, tunakulima. We would work on you thoroughly. Wow. Atiojete mudhogo. Wewe utakipata, but today most of my friends they call me mudhogo. I have no problem with that because I accepted myself. But those days tukiwa watoto wadogo, utasikia kama ni nyuki na kukura. I know. I can